won't speak in the name of the Lord. It's getting me too much trouble. I'm not going to do it anymore. And then what does he say? And then it becomes like a fire inside of me, and I can't hold it in anymore. So any stories like that? Or anything remotely similar that you would like to share?
Yeah, actually, so this is a really, really cool story. I can come up here if it's easier.
Yes.
So people,
There you go.
So I was, this was actually when I was on a family vacation in Seattle, and I had some free time to myself because my mom and brothers had left. And the one thing about Seattle, it's super beautiful. I mean, a lot of people say it rains a lot, but I find it very beautiful. But I guess another characteristic of Seattle is that's very saddening is that there are a lot of young people who are homeless, especially given the crystal meth situation that's plaguing a lot of the young youth and homeless. And I had just visited school friends and their child out there, and I was just at a bar, and I was just doing some work, and just waiting until my flight that was going to be later that evening. And so as I was sitting there was just something like really compelling me, and I could certainly say it was the Holy Spirit that was just like, go out and have dinner with a homeless person. I said, okay, sure, God, like why not? And so I stopped what I was doing, put myself away, and I started walking. I'm like, okay, God, where do you want me to go? And so just kind of walking along. I don't know if you're familiar with Pike's Market. It's kind of like the famous farmers market that's out in Seattle. And so I was walking by there, and right across the CVS, there was this gentleman who was holding up a sign right across the street from the CVS. And there was just something that the Lord was telling me him. And I walked up to him, and poor guy, after he asked someone, or two other kids for money, a bird had pooped on his jacket. And, it was just like a really bad situation. And so, I go up to him and I said, sir, would you know of, or have any suggestions of any good places to eat around here? And he had said to me, oh, well, there's a Hard Rock Cafe over there, and, pointing out to these places. And I was like, well, what do you like to eat? And he's like, well, actually, I wouldn't mind some McDonald's. And I was just like, oh, where's the closest McDonald's? He's like, oh, it's right down the street. I was like, oh, great. Do you want to come with me? Do you want to have dinner? And he was like, sure, I'll have dinner. And so, we're walking down to the McDonald's and getting to know each other. And we get to the McDonald's, put our orders in, sit down. And, the first thing he says to me is, I apologize if my eyes are dilated. I'm just coming off of a high. And I was like, wow, and we just started talking. And lo and behold, he grew up Protestant. And just hearing more about his life and kind of trying to get a sense as to what's his relationship with God like, and talking about that. And we spent some more time just kind of walking around after having dinner, walking around the city, and just talking about faith more. And just he had shared a lot of even his own wounds when he was growing up in the faith. And I had asked him specifically, has he if he'd ever really experienced like that moment with God. And he had said yes, there was actually one time when someone had prayed over him, or prayed with him, I should say, and he really experienced the Lord. And just trying to encourage him. And I gave him my contact information if he ever wanted to chat later on. And it was funny because I was running. It turned out I was running late for my airport because my flight was like in an hour. And so he, because I did not know the subway system, and he actually ended up routing me in a direction and utilizing the public transportation, which was like significantly cheaper than if I were just to take a taxi. So it was just a really beautiful situation. But I probably would say that's probably the example that kind of comes to my mind of just the Holy Spirit. So thanks be to God. But you never really know. You just ask the Holy Spirit what doors to open. He'll open them. So.
Amen. Thank you very much.
Amen.